Writers start as readers when certain books speak to us, and we want to emulate those stories with our own versions. This is how we inevitably choose which genre we'll write in going forward. For me, I started out writing thrillers because I was a big fan of Dean Koontz. But as my writing career progressed, I found myself drawn more to the world of fantasy instead. So I made the switch and started writing under the fantasy umbrella and all its subgenres, which led me to my latest iteration, a science fantasy novel that combines elements of dystopian fantasy. It's a new challenge and one I'm sure other writers have faced as well. On this edition of Inside the Author Studio, we're going to explore how to blend genres in your novel, or even switch to a new one altogether, without losing your readers. The challenge is not simply mixing genres together like ingredients in a bowl. It's an understanding reader expectation and delivering on that promise without fracturing your audience. The first thing a writer needs to do before trying to blend genres is to understand the tropes, themes, and expectations of the more popular ones. Genre is more than a bookstore category. It's a contract with the audience where you, as the author, fulfill that reader expectation. Each genre has a set of recognizable elements, and knowing these tropes helps writers build a solid foundation before experimenting with blending genres can begin. Fantasy. Fantasy involves magical worlds, mythical creatures, and epic quests. Readers will expect a hero's journey, magical systems, or supernatural powers, a clear good versus evil conflict, massive world building with unique cultures and histories, and creatures like dragons, elves, or wizards. A good example of a popular fantasy novel is Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. It features richly developed magical worlds and a protagonist with mysterious powers. Romance. Romance centers on relationships and emotional connections. The readers of romance novels have very high expectations. Common tropes include the meet-cute or initial attraction between characters, obstacles that stand in the way of their relationship blooming. Emotional growth and vulnerability are also important aspects of romance novels. And then there's the ending. Most romance novels have a happy or hopeful ending that readers are looking forward to. A good example of this is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It showcases character-driven romance with social obstacles. Science fiction. Sci-fi explores futuristic technology, space, or alternate realities. Readers expect advanced technology or scientific concepts, exploration of space or time travel, ethical dilemmas related to science, an alien species or artificial intelligence. And some science fiction novels include dystopian or utopian societies. For example, Dune by Frank Herbert combines political intrigue with a desert planet setting and advanced technology. Thriller. Thrillers focus on suspense, danger, and fast pacing. What readers expect to get out of a thriller novel include high stakes and life-threatening situations, a protagonist racing against the clock, twists and unexpected betrayals, villains with clear motives, and intense action scenes. A good example of a thriller novel would be one of my favorites, Intensity by Dean Koontz. This is a roller coaster of emotions that has our protagonist chasing down the antagonist in a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. So if the tropes and expectations are so cleanly laid out in each genre, why would anyone want to blend genres? Because blending genres allows writers to combine the strengths of different storytelling traditions. This can attract readers from multiple genres and offer fresh experiences for the author as well. It also helps you flex your writing muscle. Pushing yourself outside your comfort zone helps you grow as a writer. And blending genres is one way to do that. Here are some common and successful genre blends. Romanticie. Romance plus fantasy. Romanticie has exploded on the scene as of late, and it combines the emotional depth of romance novels with the imaginative settings of fantasy. It often features magical worlds where love stories unfold amid epic quests or supernatural challenges. A prime example of a popular Romanticie series are the Sarah J. Maas novels, such as A Court of Thorns and Roses. Her novels blend fantasy adventure with intense romantic relationships. Sci-fi thriller. This genre blend uses futuristic technology and suspenseful plots to create fast-paced, high-stakes stories. An example would be Altered Carbon by Richard K. Morgan, which features a cyberpunk world with a detective unraveling conspiracies. One of the most popular yet still underrated genre blends is science fantasy. Science fantasy combines the scale and imagination of both genres. It includes the epic scope of fantasy with the futuristic spectacle of sci-fi. This blend appeals to readers who want immersive worlds without strict scientific constraints. Creating a novel in a new or blended genre requires a careful balance. Here are some practical tips to get you started. Before blending, know what makes each genre work. Identify the key tropes that we've discussed in this edition of Inside the Author Studio and the themes readers come to expect from each genre. This helps you meet expectations while adding your own unique spin. From there, choose a primary genre. This is the single most important rule in genre blending. One genre should dominate your story. Readers need to know what emotional experience they are primarily signing up for when they buy the book. Once you have your primary genre in place, choose a complementary genre. Some genres naturally blend well, like romance and fantasy, or sci-fi and thriller. Others may clash if their tones or pacing differ too much. Think about how the genres can enhance each other. Bring your strengths with you. Switching genres does not mean abandoning your writing voice. Quite the opposite, really. If you already excel at dialogue, pacing, or character psychology, those strengths still matter no matter which genre you're writing in. Be sure to develop clear rules for your world, especially when you're writing fantasy and sci-fi blends such as science fantasy. Establish consistent rules for magic and technology. This keeps the story believable and immersive. Readers will accept nearly any premise if the rules remain emotionally and narratively coherent. The strongest modern fiction often borrows from multiple genres because real emotional experiences are complex. Fear, love, wonder, suspense, grief, and excitement frequently coexist in the same story. If you lead the story through character motivation, it will naturally pair together the genres you're writing in, whether that's one or many. That's it for this edition of Inside the Author Studio. Join us next time as we continue exploring more tips and tricks to help you write your best work.